All right, all right. Welcome back to Anthony's Political Podcast. This is episode 9. All right, we got a good show for you guys today, so let's switch over to video. Welcome back to the video podcast. We are quickly upgrading our technology here. All right, let's get right into it. So first up, we have a video on X from Drama Alert, okay? It says, would you pay $25 for an empty Prime bottle? All right. So this is part of housekeeping. The reason this is included is because I want to show you a trend that I don't like in our society right now. All right. So let's watch this and then we'll continue. We'll talk about it. All right.
Yes, everybody. We got the American Prime in today. LA Dodgers, haven't we, pal?
Dodgers Prime.
Dodgers Prime. The American custom people have tampered with them, so we're selling them very, very cheap now, aren't we? So empty bottles are going for
£25.
£25.
Keep in mind, he said empty bottle. The empty bottle is going for £25, okay? Just keep that in mind.
These gentlemen that paid, so Wakey Wines has got them. So what's the best shop in Wakey, guys?
Wakey Wines.
Abdul, come closer.
Abdul, go back.
Bingo, bingo.
Carla, bingo.
Come and get your empty bottle for £25. Are you right, Mick?
All right, mate. All good, mate.
Yes, everybody.
All right. So the reason this is included is because it outlines a trend in society that I don't like. I wouldn't say trend, maybe a behavior, okay? I'm a Gen Zer, all right? I was born in 99. I'm part of Gen Z, okay? And this only seems to have popped up recently. I've been alive for like 24 years. Not that that's a long time, but in my 24 years of life, I have never really seen this on this scale, aside from one specific instance, okay? And I'll compare it for the older audience. You guys may know this, you may not, okay? The behavior that I'm talking about here is paying for nothing, okay? People, business owners are comfortable selling you a 25-pound bottle, okay? Which that's like, I don't know how much that is USD. It's around $25. You know, they're okay with giving you nothing in a product, okay? You're literally paying 25 pounds, or for the sake of argument, let's just say at least $20 USD. You are paying for an empty bottle, okay? That's nothing. They're giving you nothing, okay? The only time I've ever seen this on a scale like this, because Prime empty bottles and Prime bottles that are filled are so overpriced. People are paying like hundreds of dollars for them. The only time I've ever seen this on a scale this large was when they were selling pet rocks and expecting people to buy it. Okay? And people did. They were paying money for a rock with googly eyes on it, okay? So again, the reason this is in housekeeping is because this behavior should not be taking place, okay? Business owners should not be thinking that they can sell nothing to their clients, okay? Like, as a society, we have to be smarter than this. We have to not buy a product that doesn't offer us anything, all right? I'm tired of, like, businesses giving us bad products and us paying for it. I feel like Netflix pulled a fast one on us when they took away like account sharing or household sharing, whatever it was called, okay? Because they advertise themselves as like the platform where like you can share with your friends and stuff, and it's like an affordable streaming platform. And then after they hit like 100 million people or whatever, or a billion people that watch, they're like, nah, actually, if you're in a different household, you can't watch Netflix. You need your own account. Like, what? And we let them get away with that. We let Marvel and Disney get away with pumping out horrible content that no one in the 1980s would pay for. And now Prime, like, how is Prime making, this much money, or people selling Prime making this much money off of selling you an empty bottle. Like, there's nothing in it. You're literally buying the artwork on the bottle, and you're somehow okay with that. So I just wanted to include that in housekeeping because I really don't like the behavior that we're engaging in here. All right, this is what cucks do. Okay, cucks pay money for no product in return. All right, if there's one thing the boomers got right, it's that they don't give up their money easily. Okay, if they're paying for something, they want it done the right way. They want it done exactly how they want it. And an empty Prime bottle is that's not worth it whatsoever. Okay, so that's what I wanted to say about that next item of housekeeping from CNN. Okay, it's a tweet on X, or it's an X on X, whatever it's called. I don't know what they're called yet, but it says the U.S. Senate has passed a resolution formalizing business attire as proper dress code for the floor of the chamber by unanimous consent. Okay, so I believe previously the Senate did not have a formal dress code in writing. It was kind of a verbal thing. It was unspoken. And as you know, they Chuck Schumer recently signed a thing that allows like pretty much anything on the Senate floor. You're allowed to wear whatever you want. And, John Fetterman was taking full advantage of that, wearing shorts and a sweatshirt. So it definitely had its abusers. I mean, Rand Paul, to do to play a joke and to show how stupid that legislation was, he wore like a red robe, like a red bathrobe, and went barefoot to the Senate. So, again, people were mad about the lack of decorum that our representatives are displaying by just wearing whatever the heck they want instead of wearing like a suit. So let's check this video out. Let's get into it.
The Senate floor officially has a formal dress code. Senate lawmakers unanimously passing a resolution Wednesday requiring business attire on the floor, the most important things for the country. It comes after Majority Leader Chuck Schumer decided to stop enforcing an unwritten dress code, which sparked backlash inspired by Senator John Fetterman's preference for hoodies and shorts. CNN's Manu Raju caught up with Fetterman to get his reaction.
I maintain that don't we have a lot of really more important things that we should be addressing here about the Senate. No one has directly come to me and said, the world will burn if you wear a hoodie. I'm not wearing hoodies on the floor as well too. I've maintained.
Oh yeah, what are you standing on right now? No, I'm kidding. That wasn't funny. But I just want to point out here, before I continue with the rest of this video, John Fetterman is suspiciously good at talking right now. He's really coherent. Not to say that's a bad thing. That's a good thing. I don't want anyone to be disabled, right? I want to see that this guy's doing well. But he's suspiciously really tactful right now and really coherent. That's all I wanted to point out.
To just do the from the door, and it was never my plan to do that.
Fetterman also says he doesn't mind if his staff dresses down because congressional staffers aren't paid well and the attire could drain their finances.
Dang. Just flat out admitted they're not paid well.
After the vote, Fetterman's office also issued a statement. No, seriously, that's the statement. It was just the viral meme of King of Queens actor Kevin James. Seems like a good statement.
There you have it.
Bro. What? He didn't even bother to get like a not Getty image one. There was no text on it. What was the point of that? He just shared a picture of Kevin James like what? I don't even understand what that means. Never mind. He's not cohesive today. I forget everything I just said. I hope he gets better. All right, next item, next order of business. All right. So this is kind of just a quick little tweet that I wanted to point out because it kind of does relate to Joe Biden. It's a little bit ironic, okay? Here it is.
He poisoned our water supply, burned our crops, and delivered a plague unto our houses. He did? No, but are we just gonna wait around until he does?
All right. It's kind of funny because it says Republicans hashtag impeachment inquiry of President Joe Biden, right? It's funny because he's like, he poisoned our water supply, which Joe Biden didn't poison the water supply technically, but a train full of toxic chemicals did explode in East Palestine. So that's pretty comparable. And it, not saying it was Joe Biden's fault, but like it happened under his administration. Okay. Burning crops didn't necessarily happen in a specific area that I can think of because of Joe Biden. However, California did have did have wildfires, and a lot of people say they were actually because of green policies. That was more Gavin Newsom, but it's kind of funny because it still kind of happened. All right. If you guys didn't know, the green policies that were blamed kind of for the wildfires, if you ask conservatives, is there usually is part of a process of the fire department that they do controlled burns. Okay. A controlled burn is just a burn of shrubbery or trees that the fire department controls to prevent really devastating burns, So they do controlled burns to regulate uncontrolled burns. It makes uncontrolled burns less likely to spread super far, okay? And apparently because of green policies, those are more rare, I guess we'll say. The fire departments are not allowed to keep up as much controlled burn maintenance as they used to. And in addition to that, the uncontrolled burns are apparently getting sparked more because of green policies in California specifically. The reason for this being, California has a very old electric grid, okay? And with the advent of electric policy, like green electricity, California has been pushing for greener ways to get their electricity. So electric vehicles, solar power, wind power, whatever. And they've kind of neglected their power grid maintenance because they're pursuing ways to have clean energy, okay? And green energy. And neglecting your power grid that's already old is not good. Which it can cause fires, you can get mechanical failures. As you know, with any machinery or any item, if you neglect its care, it breaks down. So, you stop controlled burns and you give uncontrolled burns more fuel to start, that's what you're going to get, And I forget what his last one was. Let me say again.
Poisoned our water supply, burned our crops, and delivered a plague unto our houses.
Oh, yeah. So Joe Biden didn't necessarily deliver a plague, but Fauci did, And I know it happened under Donald Trump's administration. But Joe Biden is also not credited with having a really good rollout of policy for that. So it's kind of funny that Pam I Am on Twitter, or whoever this is, posted that, because all of those things technically did happen. So I just thought that was kind of funny and ironic. So, and the reason Joe Biden has been, getting impeached was because he's doing a horrible job, and because of the Hunter Biden story. Even though Hunter Biden's only being indicted for like gun charges, so they're trying to protect Joe as much as they can. But as you guys will see later in this episode, one of our last news section pieces has something that looks pretty suspicious for Joe Biden. I won't spoil anything more, but that's all I want to talk about with this. I just thought this was funny and ironic and throw it in housekeeping. All right, next up, here's a tweet or X from Libs of TikTok. It says staff at ISD 721 reportedly had a professional development training which included bizarre and racist video comparing white people to mosquitoes. Okay, the source for this was Alpha News. I'll pull it up real quick just to show you guys. I'll also link it down below in the description. So, New Prague school staff training video depicts white people as mosquitoes. The superintendent of the district said instruction on microaggressions and bias is embedded in professional development for staff. Okay, so they don't show the video here, but the tweet does. So we'll get into it. Here it is.
Mosquito bites and their itch are one of nature's most annoying features. But if you're only bitten every once in a while...
No, where are you really from?
Cleveland?
Sure, it's annoying, but it's not that big a deal. The problem is that some people get bitten by mosquitoes a lot more than other people. I mean, a lot more. Whether it's on a date...
Oh, your English is so good.
Excuse me?
Going grocery shopping.
You know, everything happens for a reason.
I'm just buying apples.
Commuting to work.
So when are you gonna have a baby?
Watching TV.
We have to keep the Redskins name. It's part of our culture and
Yes, we do.
Or just walking down the street with your partner.
I couldn't even tell you were gay.
Mosquitoes seem to pop up everywhere.
Do you know John? Give me shopping advice. I love Cher too.
And getting bit by mosquitoes every day.
Can I touch your hair?
Multiple times a day.
So pretty. Can
Can I touch it,
hair?
please?
Can I please?
Is annoying. And makes you want to go ballistic on those mosquitoes. Which seems like a huge overreaction to people who only get bit every once in a while.
It's just a mosquito bite. Who cares?
Just another angry black woman.
Of course, beyond just being annoying, some mosquitoes carry truly threatening diseases that can mess up your life for years.
Astrophysics? Maybe you should try less challenging, Major.
Ow, my dreams.
And other mosquitoes carry strains that can even kill you.
He looked like he was up to trouble, okay? I felt threatened.
So next time you think someone's overreacting, just remember, some people experience mosquito bites all the time.
You're all so exotic. Wow.
And by mosquito bites, we mean microaggressions.
Whoa. Watch out for microaggressions. They can kill you. They can kill you. So be careful. If someone microaggressions you, you have to use a giant fly swatter and kill them. That's what you have to do. All right. So I just wanted to include this in housekeeping because I think it's pretty absurd. And, you know, if we can help it, you know, try not to be involved with places or institutions that harbor this kind of stuff. Okay? Because, you know, an institution that institutes this stuff or introduces it and then sees their, you know, their alumni go down or sees their sales go down if it's a business or sees, you know, enrollment go down if it's a college, it'll hopefully wake people up and show them that no one is really asking for this kind of stuff, because this is not the type of messaging that we should be putting out. I mean, we should be putting out messaging that brings people together and that, you know, increases trust in society, right? You know, I mean, it's like an age-old leadership tactic that if you are a leader of a team, you don't necessarily want to always be condemning bad behavior. You want to be encouraging and rewarding good behavior. All right. So I just think it's funny that, like, everyone says good leaders reward good behavior publicly in front of the team because, you know, it makes people feel good. If your boss at work pulls you aside or whatever, or puts you on the spot in a meeting and says, "Hey, I just wanted to highlight, you know, this person because they've done amazing work on this specific thing," you're gonna feel good. Like if your boss mentions you in a meeting, or if someone you look up to, you know, speaks highly of you to other people, that feels really good. What does not feel good is if your boss publicly talks about your microaggressions towards another employee, okay? So I don't understand why the conversation that we're having on the internet should be any different than, you know, good leadership tactics and stuff like that. This is just gonna fuel more division, in my opinion, because now, in addition to probably having non-straight white people feel like victims because of this video, you're also going to have straight white people getting upset that you're misrepresenting them in a video, you know? So stay away from this stuff. If you see a company that has this stuff, if you work at a company that has this, you know, I know it's not the easiest thing to leave a company that you work at that has DEI, you know, diversity, equity, inclusion type stuff, or like critical race theory or anything, but, you know, it's important, I think, to put yourself in a position in life where, you know, you can afford to do that, you know, whether that means starting your own business or maybe finding a job with a business that you know, you trust, that you know of, or whatever, you know? So that's why I wanted to include that in housekeeping. All right, next up, we got Ted Cruz, a tweet from Ted Cruz. It says, "Don't ever forget how Joe Biden actually feels about working class Americans." All right, so this is a pretty old video. It's been around for a little while. It says, "What kind of elected leader talks to voters that way?" And he said something very important in this video that I want to highlight, which is why I included it here, okay? So let's hear what he says. It's only 40 seconds. Let's see what's up.
You intend on getting the union vote when there is a large portion of the union workers that are gun enthusiasts, and you are actively trying to diminish our Second Amendment right and take away our guns. You're for it.
All right, thank you. Now, shush. You're not allowed to own any weapons. I'm not taking your gun away at all. You need 100 rounds.
So when you were in Beto, when you said you're going to take our guns,
I did not say that. That's not true. I did not say that.
It's a viral video. Okay, this is not okay. Hold on. All right.
Hey, let's don't tell me to do that. There's a lot of guys.
You're a lot of guys want me, man.
I'm not worried. Hold on. Give me a break. Don't be such a worried guy.
You intend on getting the...
All right. So, first of all, if you're a politician, I understand that you're a human. And sometimes I think it's kind of funny when like another, you know, when two people are arguing and another person like loses their temper a little bit. It's kind of funny sometimes. But as a politician and a representative of the people, you cannot be talking to people like this, okay? All he's asking you is a simple question. And you're saying he's full of S. You're calling him a horse's backside. Like, come on, bro. That's not cool, all right? That's not going to get you votes. All right, what he said that I want to highlight is, I think it's around here.
There's a lot of guys. You're a lot of guys want me, man.
I'm not worried. Hold on. Give me a break.
You see what he said? So the guy, the union worker, will just say, I don't know what industry he works in. He said, "You work for me, man," which is true. Okay? These guys are by the people, for the people, all right? That means the government employees work for us. The government's working for us. And if it ain't, we got an issue here, okay? So he said, "You work for me, man," which is, again, true. Joe Biden responds with, "I'm not working," and he stopped, all right? He could have been saying something else. He could have been saying, "I'm not working for you." Either way, if he was about to say, "I don't work for you," or something of that sort, that's real scary. Because that means that this guy who's in a position of authority and responsibility thinks of union workers who get in his face as peasants, okay? And he thinks that he rules over us and that we can't remove him, okay? This is the verbiage of a guy who thinks he's invincible and who thinks he's above the law, okay? This is an entitlement mindset. And I know he's old and has dementia and he's basically a dead guy in office. And I don't mean to be like mean when I say that, and I don't mean to be funny, you know. Okay, I kind of mean to be a little funny, but like he doesn't get a pass just because he has dementia right now, okay? Like the fact is he said that, and he seemed pretty coherent in this video, okay? So the fact that he thinks he doesn't work for this union guy along with all of us, that's a problem. All right? So that's the end of housekeeping. I just wanted to talk about those things for a little while, okay? Now, this is on to the more serious news, all right? We got some news about Tim Scott, all right? This is from Daily Wire News. It says, Tim Scott, "America is not a country in decline." Okay, buddy. It's not. It's our national vital interest to fund Ukraine. Okay? That is an unhinged take, okay? I kind of didn't expect this from Tim Scott. I didn't know much about him, to be fair. I had heard his name floated a little bit when it comes to Donald Trump's, 2024 run. Some people were saying that Tim Scott might be the VP he picks. I'm kind of hoping at this point that Tim Scott is not who Trump picks. Okay? It's not going to stop me from voting for him. But I think Tim Scott is now going to hurt Trump's image if he keeps talking like this. All right? I don't mean to be like a one issue voter, a single issue voter, but having this take on Ukraine is whack. Okay, it's not good. Like, I feel like if you have this take on Ukraine, you're instantly a rhino. Okay, and you think just like Joe Biden, I don't work for you. That's how I feel like people who have this take on Ukraine think. Okay, so let's read what this says. Ready? So Senator Tim Scott said during Wednesday night's Republican presidential primary debate at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library in, whatever, California, that the U.S. was not on decline and that it was of vital importance that the U.S. continues to fund Ukraine's war against Russia. Okay? Which obviously we don't agree with here at Anthony's Political Podcast. This is ridiculous. This is not our war. I don't care if Russia takes control of Ukraine. I'm just going to be totally honest. Okay? The only time I would care about Russia is if they're trying to take control of us. Okay? And they're not. But I can see how the elites think they are because they have vested interest there with Ukraine's money laundering and, proxy government, basically. So anyway, let's continue. So 90% of the resources that we send over to Ukraine is guaranteed. Okay? It's a loan, Scott said. 90% of the money that we send over there is loaned. Well, we could talk about this, but at the end of the day, 90% of the money that we send over there is actually in the form of a loan. Oh, it's a loan. Oh. I missed the part where they asked our permission to loan Ukraine billions of dollars. All right? And if this is a loan, someone explain to me how much interest I'm getting. Because I want 40% interest on this loan. All right? This is good news, though. It's a loan, guys. We don't have to worry. 90% is coming back. It's a loan. In reality, that's a horrible business decision. Think about if you bought a car for 15 grand and they said, you only have to pay back 90% of it. You only have to pay back 90%. What would you say? Sick. I'll take it. How's the dealership going to make money if they're only getting 90% of their car loan back? Like, what? Bro, you can't loan out and then get back less than you loaned. That's not how it works. This isn't a loan, Tim Scott. Get out of here. All right, let's continue. I'm getting too upset now. He's ruining my day. It's not actually being paid by Ukraine. It's paid by NATO. Oh. It's paid by our NATO allies, he said. I will say, let's debate the fact that our national vital interest is in degrading the Russian military. Okay? By degrading the Russian military, we actually keep our homeland safer. We keep our troops at home, and we all understand Article 5 of NATO. All right. I have a question for Tim Scott. So if someone has his number, please send it to me. In what way does not going to war with Ukraine or not going to war with Russia make our troops go overseas? Our troops stay home either way. If we give billions of dollars to Ukraine or if we do nothing and watch this unfold, our troops stay at home regardless. No, literally no one is talking about our troops going overseas. Okay, maybe the Democrats, but beside the point, Tim Scott, you're running for a GOP, you're running on the GOP stage, all right? You got to understand your audience a little. The Republicans are not mad that troops are going overseas, okay? Because they're not overseas right now. All right? We're not mad about troops going overseas because troops don't go overseas anyway. If we give them $0 and watch Russia eat their lunch, we still don't lose troops. Okay? The only way we lose troops is if we send troops there and get spanked. All right? All right, let's continue. So at the end of the day, when you think about the fact, if you want to keep American troops at home, an attack on NATO territory would bring us and our troops in, he continued, by degrading the Russian military if we reduce, if not eliminate, an attack on NATO territory. All right, so he's basically saying if we can explode Russia without sending people in, then we won't have to fight them later with people. But if Russia gets too strong, they're gonna fight us, and we're gonna lose people. Okay. So let's see what this video is.
But it's not a territorial dispute. It's never been a territorial dispute.
And 90% of the resources that we send over to Ukraine is guaranteed as a loan. It is not 90% of the money that we send over there is loan. Well, we can talk about this, but at the end of the day, 90% of the money that we send over there is actually in the form of a loan. It's not actually not be paid by Ukraine. It's paid by the NATO, our NATO allies.
So I think it's a good topic.
I think it's a really good topic too. But I will say let's debate the fact that our national vital interest is in degrading the Russian military. By degrading the Russian military, we actually keep our homeland safer, we keep our troops at home, and we all understand Article 5 of NATO.
We keep our troops at home. I don't know. He lost me. He lost me there. Like, I dislike Russia as much as the next guy. I don't know much about Russia's government or anything, but like, it still doesn't mean that we should be funding a war against Russia. All right? Tim Scott lost me. You lost me, bro. Like, in my opinion, the only person that's fit to be president right now is Trump. No one on this stage is, like, impressing me, okay? Ron DeSantis, to be fair, has done excellent in Florida. He's done very good things. And, you know, defending his record's easy because he's a superstar in Florida, okay? However, he has the worst media team ever. Okay, his campaign and media team is horrible. All right, his PR team is atrocious. Ron DeSantis, fire your whole team, fire all of them, and hire like me and four people, and I'll make you look like Donald Trump Jr. Okay, not Donald Trump's son, but like Donald Trump Jr. Like, I'll make you look pretty good. All right. Anyone could do a better job than who you got right now. All right. And then Vivek, honestly, it's hard because Vivek doesn't have a record because he's kind of not a politician, to my knowledge. But, you know, he's good at talking, which could be dangerous. A lot of people are calling him, you know, 2024's Obama. I think there's just not enough information about Vivek yet to have, like, for me to have like a really strong opinion of him either way. But again, I don't really know much about Vivek other than the fact that he's good at talking. He's very tactful, and he seems pretty smart. You know, he seems like he stays in his lane. And just a disclaimer, I did not watch the debate. I don't like the GOP. Was not planning on watching the debate. I would only watch the debate if Donald Trump was there. All right, so that just means that the winner of the debate is Donald Trump. Okay. All right. Let's move on to our next bit. This is kind of like housekeeping as well, but it's still technically news, I guess. And it kind of goes along with, you know, Tim Scott's brainless take on Russia and a debate, you know. So here's a clip from Michael Knowles. Let's see.
Last night's cacophonous and chaotic Republican presidential primary debate ended with one of the wildest questions ever posed in any presidential debate.
None of you have indicated that you're dropping out. So, which one of you on stage tonight should be voted off the island? Please use your marker to write your choice on the notepad in front of you. 15 seconds starting now. Of the people on the stage, who should be? I'm absolutely serious.
With all due respect, I mean, we're here, like, you know, we're happy to debate, but I think that that's disrespectful to my fellow competitors.
Nobody wants to participate.
Let's do some questions. Let's talk about the future of the country.
It was a good answer from DeSantis. That was the smart way to play it. What's funny is Christie then went along and he said, yeah, we don't want to participate. But he was the first one when she said it. He just starts writing down on his board. But okay, then they said, no, we don't want to participate at all. It's a terrible, terrible question. And everyone now is attacking Dana Perino for that game show question.
Bro, why? Why are you, like, why? I don't think anything was wrong with that question. I guess I can understand like why they didn't want to answer it and why DeSantis was like, actually, I'd prefer not to answer that. That's disrespectful to me and my competitors. I get it. And it, politicians have to have decorum and stuff, but like it was just kind of a funny like way to stir the pot. I don't think Dana Perino did a bad job. We're really gonna get on her about that. Like there's so many hosts of debates that were so much worse. And like that's the worst we can do. Like that's what we're gonna get mad about. It's just funny. Which one of you should get off the island? I thought it was kind of, I chuckled a little the first time I saw this. It was funny. But yeah, I mean, if you look closely again, you do see Chris Christie like looks like he starts to write something down, and then he sees that Nikki Haley's like, "Are you serious?" And DeSantis is like, "Yeah, we're not doing that." And then Christie's like, you see his cheeks jiggle when he shakes his head, oh, I can't do that. Oh, no. Like, so props to Nikki Haley. She looked like she was the first one who jumped on that, regardless of who thinks what. And then DeSantis was probably close enough behind where I don't think he would have saw her and be like, oh, we're not doing this. That's a good idea. I think DeSantis's reaction was instinctive too. But that was funny, Chris Christie, And I saw Mike Pence start like chuckling a little bit, which was kind of funny because he probably wishes that he could write something down, But I don't know. It's just funny. It's funny to see how politicians they really do, like, if you watch them closely on like in between interactions, you can see what their true colors are sometimes. And Christie just did that, I heard he did a pretty decent job when he was governor of New Jersey. But he had a little bit of a rough time towards the end of his presidency. I mean, governorship. I forget what it was. He closed the beaches or something, for like the whole Jersey Shore, and then and then photos of him like in his shorts enjoying like ice cream or something on the beach was surfaced, and apparently the picture was taken on the beach at the time that the beach was banned for everybody. But I don't remember the specifics of it. It was just funny. That was a controversy of his, though. That was like right towards the end of his, of his term as governor, and it kind of killed his reelection. That's what made Phil Murphy get elected, I think. So it was just funny, though. So it's good to see Chris Christie getting embarrassed by Michael Knowles. It's always good to see. All right. Next up, we got some news out of New York City. Okay. This is from Post Millennial. New York Democrats to distribute flyers telling illegal immigrants to go somewhere else. Okay. They're hanging papers up. Excuse me. They're hanging papers up telling illegals to get out. Okay. Let's see what's up. Okay, New York City has had enough of illegal immigrants, exhausting the city's resources, and is planning on distributing flyers to illegal immigrants that state they will not be able to find work in the Big Apple and to go somewhere else, to go elsewhere. Okay? According to Bloomberg, the flyers will be dispersed to illegal immigrants in New York City, shelters, and at the U.S.-Mexico border in an attempt to dissuade them from coming to the concrete jungle. Okay? I'm more of an Iron Jungle fan myself. If you didn't know, that's the gym. The contents for the flyer warn illegal immigrants that you will not be placed at a hotel. Okay? NYC is one of the most expensive cities in the world. You could say that again. You are better off going to a more affordable city. You hear that? You're better off going to the Midwest or a right-wing red state where there's better policies so you can flourish easier. That's basically what he said. All right? And NYC cannot help you obtain a work permit, and you will not be able to easily find work. Okay? I like this flyer. We should adopt these everywhere. Go home. You can't find work. You're going to have a hard time finding somewhere to live and getting money. And we're not helping you get work permits. That needs to be the message posted everywhere. you know, it's funny to see New York Democrats going crazy about how they can't, you know, they can't handle these people. Like, what did you think was gonna happen, dude? Like, I'm pretty sure the like numbers came out that said under Joe Biden, like the amount of illegal immigrants that came in are like they outnumber like the populations of like a few states at this point in time. Okay, which is kind of ridiculous. Which I guess makes sense because let's say there's been 10 or 15 million. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Let's say there's been 10 million. There's not a lot of states that have 10 million people. I mean, I'm pretty sure Florida has like 22 million. New York probably has around that, maybe 19 million or something. Cali probably has a lot of people. Texas probably, New Jersey probably has a decent amount of people, you know. But like if you like 10 million people, you're not gonna find 10 million people in like North Dakota. I'd be shocked, you know. The Midwest does not have 10 million people per state. That's a high number to hit, you know. But you know, I just wanted to talk about that because I think it's funny that these people who act as our leaders just do whatever they feel like doing. They just adopt policies that no one should adopt, and then they get desperate and put flyers up, you know. Instead of a lost dog flyer on like a telephone pole, it's gonna say like illegals go home, we can't help you. All right, it's crazy to see the switch that occurred there. Okay, that's just wild to me. It really is. All right, and then last bit of news, let's move on. This is from the Federalist. Okay, this is from the corruption segment. That's pretty cool. They have that. Okay, wire transfers from Chinese oligarchs to Hunter Biden listed Joe Biden's home address. Okay, this is from September 27th. So this was yesterday, this was yesterday at the time of recording. I'm recording this on the 28th of September. Okay, so let's see. So according to his memoir, Hunter Biden was living in California during summer of 2019 when the wire transfers were sent. Okay. That's good to preface with that. In summer of 2019, Hunter Biden received 2 wire transfers from Chinese business partners. Wire transfers that listed Joe Biden's Wilmington, Delaware address, okay, as beneficiary address. The House Oversight Committee revealed Tuesday evening. After subpoenaing bank records, the company found records of 2 wires linked to BHR Partners, a Beijing-backed private equity firm controlled by Bank of China Limited, according to Fox News Digital. Okay, Hunter Biden also sat on this board at this firm. Okay, he sat on the board there. That's important. So Hunter Biden sits on the board of this firm in Beijing or in China, whatever. It's a Beijing-backed private equity firm. All right, controlled by the government. And on the wire transfer, the address is listed as Joe Biden's Wilmington, Delaware house. Okay? If my son was going to have, you know, corrupt business dealings or sketchy business dealings, especially if he's a politician or I'm trying to be a politician, I don't want him using my house. Okay? I don't care if he lives in my house still. He's not using my house as an address for anything suspicious, okay? You better get a P.O. box, my boy. That's all I'll say. All right? You can get a P.O. box, but you ain't putting my address down if I'm trying to run for presidential office, all right? That's not how this works. Okay, let's see. Let's keep reading. The first wire transfer in July 2019 was for $10,000 from Ms. Wang Xin, the name of a woman listed on BHR Partners website. The second, in August 2019, was for $250,000 from Miss Tan Ling and Li Xiang Cheng. I hope I said that right. Don't really care if I don't. I'll never meet them in my life. The CEO of BHR Partners, who also goes by the name Jonathan Lee. Okay? Americanized name, maybe? Okay. While the beneficiary for the wires is Robert Hunter Biden, The listed address is Joe Biden's primary residence in Delaware. A beneficiary address is either the address listed to the recipient account or listed by the individual sending the wire. Interesting. Okay. It's unclear based on the records who listed the address. Okay. So the interpretation I'm taking from this is that either the guy who set up the account is who put the address, meaning Hunter or Joe, or, you know, the bank, the investment firm or whatever from China, those are the guys who put the address, possibly. Either way, it's sketchy. Because if you set up an account with your dad's address, you knew what you were getting into, I should hope. And if Joe Biden's the one who set up the account with that address, then, I mean, that's incriminating. And then it's also incriminating if China puts, you know, a representative of China puts Joe Biden's address, because it means that, you know, they could have had any address put down. And for some reason, they chose Joe Biden's, even though Hunter's the one who's technically on the board. So it doesn't make sense, really. This is pretty incriminating. I doubt anyone's going to get held accountable for it, because that's just not how the law works in America, you know? Apparently, the more rich and higher office you hold, the less the law applies to you. So, except Donald Trump, who held the highest office in the land and is one of the richest men ever, you know, that's not how the law works for him. The law works extra hard against him, you know? So I just wanted to include that in the news because it's still a developing story. This was breaking yesterday. I saw this, you know, this headline or a headline similar to it the other day, and I was like, oh, I have to talk about this because this is important, you know? Because if something does come of this, if Joe Biden does get indicted, that'd be sick. You know what I'm saying? I would settle for impeachment, okay? I would settle for impeachment. I would like indictment, all right, because people should be held accountable for their crimes. But Joe Biden being as old as he is, I will settle for impeachment. If Joe Biden only gets impeached, I'm okay with that, okay? I would prefer, again, both. I would prefer indictment and impeachment. But, you know, we can't always get what we want. Life isn't fair. So that's all I wanted to talk about today. You know, as always, the links are going to be down in the description so you guys can read up on these yourselves. Please don't ever believe anything I say at face value. You guys should be doing your own research and thinking for yourselves. That being said, if you liked what I said and you liked my content, please be sure to like and follow, to view my other podcast episodes. I'm also going to be posting these on YouTube. So if you are a fan of YouTube, if you want shorter versions, I'm going to start clipping these as well so you can get it in bite-sized chunks. You know, just so it adds more versatility. If you don't feel like listening to, you know, news about Tim Scott and Joe Biden, you can listen to me talking about, you know, libs of TikTok or the Republican debate and how it was crazy. All right. So that's all I have for you guys today. Again, I'm keeping up twice a week, Sundays and Wednesdays at 3 p.m. I actually missed both days this week. I do sincerely apologize for that. It's just been a busy week, and I am going to be honest with you. I completely forgot in all the mess of things. I completely forgot to record an episode on Tuesday and post it Wednesday. But we're back, and I'm not going to jip you out of 2 days of the week. So you get an episode on a Thursday. All right. And again, please like and follow, comment down below if you have anything to say. I would love to hear your thoughts. And that's it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys for tuning in.